Hi everyone, Frank here. I'm recording this video to go in the back office of Satoshi Multiplier, and I am logged into my Pionex exchange account. A little bit of history of Satoshi Multiplier and kind of where we came to this point and why I'm adding an exchange to the back office. So Satoshi Multiplier, I want to start by saying it is not a business. A lot of people kind of talk about it as being an online business. It's not a business. It is simply a downline builder that I originally built for myself, for my use only, to promote some of the free to join programs that we were doing through a partnership with my friend Rob Gearing at Traffic Leads to Income, the cash mailer, and what's on the back office there as far as the downline builder. But I decided to make it available to anyone because it is simply a downline builder. Well, in the end of 2022, I sort of announced to our database, and it is crazy how many people have joined the downline builder and started using a lot of the programs that were out there and actually promoting the downline builder. That we're going to take it in a different direction, because what I found over the first, say, 6 months of doing that is the income is a little bit limited. The free to join programs are great, and you'll still see those over in the left menu, but they take time, so you've got to make a time commitment to those. And unless you just have a tremendous amount of referrals, you're really limited on what you can make. You can make about somewhere between 75 to 80, maybe up to $100 if you're doing everything in them and doing some of the offers a month if you don't have referrals. With referrals, and I've got a significant amount of referrals, up to 150, sometimes up close to 200 if I do some offers. So not bad income, but not life-changing income. So we took a little different route toward the end of 2022 and going into 2023. More focus on traditional MLM type programs, and then Pionex is kind of the third phase. So this is sort of my vision for this. If you don't have the funds to get started in the traditional programs that are at the top of the menu, which is Live Good, Savings Highway Global, GLN, then the free to join programs will get you enough money to be, in these programs. At least start out and Live Good, then go to Savings Highway Global, and then probably one of the lower levels of GLN, and give you enough funds to stay active until you build a downline there. And you can do that by promoting Satoshi Multiplier and people joining these programs through your back office, through the downline builder. And then once you are making income there, the free to join programs, in my opinion, are a great way to make some funds to have a paid advertising budget. But then once you graduate sort of to the next phase, is kind of where the Pionex comes in. And all of these programs that allow you, someone said, well, this doesn't align with crypto. Well, all three of these programs allow you to withdraw in crypto. So in my opinion, it does align with what we're doing as far as, growing our crypto or Satoshi Multiplier. The last phase is once you're doing well and once you have some sort of, extra income to invest, then this is where the exchange comes in. And kind of my history on trading, I started crypto trading around 2016, 17. I didn't really know anything about it. I saw crypto at that point, that first big boom, shoot up to almost $20,000. I had bought some. The first Bitcoin I bought was around 200 and something dollars. So I got started in buying some a little bit early. I actually sold some at the top of the market. That kind of put it in my blood to trade. So I watched it crash from almost 20,000 down to around 3,000 and back up. It took it a few years to actually, before it ever got back above that high point that it reached, back several years ago. So my brain got to working and thinking, wow, I would have hated to have purchased at the top of the market when it was around 20,000. And then I could have sat there and just held my crypto. This, you've heard the word HODL, H-O-L-D, in crypto, H-O-D-L in crypto, and just held it for 3 years, and I would have had zero profit to show for it. But I'm looking at the historical charts, and it, versus stock trading, which I've done, it goes up and down. It's very volatile. And Bitcoin is probably the most stable of any of the cryptos, and it's very volatile, much more than stock trading when I was doing it. So my thought was, wow, it might make sense to kind of, space some buys out and buy as the market falls, sell it when it goes up, in increments. So didn't know that's what it was called. I started grid trading on my own, and later found out that it was a thing and had a name back in 2016-17 with a small amount of funds, and I grew my funds over time. And then I finally, in 2020, I had realized, wow, this actually works. I can, when the market is falling pretty big, I can sort of limit my losses. When the market's going sideways, sort of just up and down, I can make a lot of profit, and the market's not really moving up or down. It's just bouncing around. But when the market goes up real fast, I obviously make profits. I don't make as much as if I'm just holding, but I will take, losing a little bit of profit when it's going up if I can limit my losses going down and actually make money when it's going sideways. But then, as you saw what happened in 2020, things just went crazy. Bitcoin went up almost to $70,000. I was trading heavily manually in 2020. I actually made enough funds during that year. I withdrew a big chunk of my trading funds, paid off my mortgage, bought my wife a new BMW, paid cash for that, and obviously, if you're doing what you're supposed to, you've got to pay capital gains tax on your crypto. It's not a security here in the United States. It's treated as a property, just like a house, and you pay capital gains tax if you're not holding it, short-term capital gains, if you're not holding it more than 12 months. And I'm not holding anything more than 12 months because I'm actively trading. So I pay around 32, depending on what tax bracket I'm in, 32 to 35% taxes. So I set aside some of the profits to cover my taxes. And then obviously you saw what happened last year. Last year was a horrendous year. Obviously I didn't make a profit last year, but I was able to limit my losses because of the way I was doing. But kind of go back to that year 2020, I was doing so much trading that it was almost like a job. And I did it all manually. I put all of my transactions, I put them into a program called Bitcoin.tax that helps me, every transaction I make, regardless of how big or how small, every buy, every sell, everything that I do in crypto, every move, I log it into Bitcoin.tax. And I looked at the number of transactions and I said, I've got to do something about this because I made somewhere between 300, I don't remember the exact number, it was between 350 to 400,000 transactions that I made in 2020 and did every one of them one at a time by hand, manually. So I started looking at automating my trading. Lots of bots out there that will do that. Over 2021, 2022, I used a couple. I used one called Royal Q, which is part of an MLM program. It was okay. It was the first one that I actually used. And then I actually trialed several, and I went with one called Trade Santa, and that one worked okay. At that time, I was having to limit what I was using to bots that would work on Coinbase Pro because that was where I was trading. That was the exchange that I was trading on. I didn't really, I mean, those worked, but the functionality was very minimum, meaning once I set up a bot, I really had no control over it. Once I set it up, I had to let it run, and if I wanted to change something, I pretty much had to stop it, sell everything, and restart it. And I got to looking for bots that had more functionality, and as I watched dozens and dozens of YouTube videos, I kept coming back to something called Pionex. And so I got to looking at this exchange and saw that they, in 2022, they actually launched in the United States, and they're still working to get in every state. Right now, I believe, I don't know exactly, I believe they're in 41, 42 states. They are in my state, Texas. So if you are in the United States and you join from our back office here and it's in one of the states that it's not active in, I apologize. They say they're working very hard to get into all 50 states. And then if you're outside of the United States, then you will go and join through Pionex.com. Regulations are a little bit different here in the States, and usually our exchanges, it's hard for us to join a global exchange. There's not many that are global that allows people in the States. We tend to have our own regulations and own, here. So it's Pionex.us here in the States. But I saw their bots and I really liked them. So let me show you a little bit about the bots, and then I'll talk at the end about how you join. Because if you are from the United States, you can join from the link above here. If you are not from the United States, you can simply go to Pionex.com, Pionex.com, and join there. So let me show you the grid bot, and there's lots of bots over here. The only one that I really use is just a straight grid bot. If you want to know anything about some of these other bots, the only other bots that I would even consider using, because of the way I trade, might be the Bitcoin growth bot or the Infinity grid bot. But for the way that I like to trade, I pretty much all I use is the grid bot. And I've tested several. I'm actually doing something. I'll show the bot that I have running right now in a moment. So in the grid bot, you can, one thing I like about Pionex is the transaction fees, unlike Coinbase, are static. I mean, it doesn't matter what size your trade, how large or how small, you're paying 0.10% transaction fee, and you're paying that. So it doesn't matter how large your account is or how small it is. If I set up a bot with $100,000 and I set up another bot with $50 at the exact same time, at the exact same entry price, at the exact same parameters, they're going to earn the exact same percentage. Obviously, if you earn 10% of 100,000 or 10% of 50, the amount's going to be bigger, but the percentage is the same, and that's really all that matters. You grow your account, and then over time you can have more funds to trade with. But there is a misnomer that you got to have a lot of funds to trade. That's not true. You can set up a bot. Some of these, depending on how you set the grids, you can set it up for $10 or maybe even a little less or not much more. You can play around with it. We'll show you once. I can't show you here on that because I have all of my funds, available funds, in a bot right now, so I can't show that to you. So what I suggest, and I will never give financial advice or say do this, because I am just an individual out there trading. I can show you what I'm doing, I can show you my results, but you need to do your own research, make your own decision. It's your funds in your exchange, and make your own settings. You can actually use the AI. I don't use their AI, but I use it for a little bit of research. One thing that I liked is this volatility index. You can kind of go down it and click on different things, and it will show you how volatile. The higher the number, the more volatile, the more the price moves up and down. The lower the number, the more stable it is. Obviously, Bitcoin will be one of the more stable, and you get into some of the others we'll see ApeCoin here, 74% versus 39% for Bitcoin. The other thing that you want to do, this is the U.S. exchange is a little new. It was opened in 2022. If you're trading in Bitcoin, I would say trade in USD. If you're trading in any other thing right now, you might want to look at USDT. And the reason is because, pretty much around the globe, USDT is the most popular thing to trade into. In other words, that's the most popular stable currency to trade in. And in Pionex .us, our US exchange, they somehow leverage Binance and Huobi, Binance being the largest exchange in the world. Huobi is, I don't know the exact number, but they're a top 5 exchange. They use them for somehow leverage the liquidity. So when you look at, even though it's in the United States, when you look at the volume on everything is going to be much greater in USDT on the smaller coins altcoins than it will be in USD. So if you're trading in USD, I would say you're fine over here at BTC because there's plenty of volume. If you're trading in any of the other coins, maybe Ether's okay, but if you're going to trade Dogecoin or BNB or I would say Mana or something like that, Luna, then I would kind of gravitate more towards USDT. Now there is a referral link. That referral link is only available, that's up to the top here, if you're in the United States. The referral here is inconsequential because it's only 20% of the transaction fee, and the transaction fee is 0.10, of 1%, 0.10%. So it's a very, very small, referral commission anyway. So I'm not concerned about that. I'm more concerned with getting the exchange in the back office and helping people that want to possibly start trading and that have never done it before. And I can kind of walk you through how to get that done. So do your own research over here. Pick your coins. You can go in and look at the highs and lows. Look at the charts. What I would say is, maybe switch it to the weekly chart, and you can shrink it down here. Let's just look at ApeCoin. Switch to the weekly chart, and you can look at, okay, where is it maybe over the last 4 or 5 months? How low has it gone? How high has it gone? And then you can kind of pick your low and your high. As long as it's trading in your low and in your high, then you're going to be able to buy and sell it. When the price goes outside of your range here, under the high or the low, whatever you set, then obviously you're no longer trading. You have to make a decision there. Do I close the bot? Do I widen my stance, my upper and lower limit? And when you do that, you got to watch. It will tell you, you may incur a loss. And I'll show you what I'm doing. And I've incurred some losses, but I'm trying something a little bit different because of how, many variables we can change here. So do your research, pick your low, pick your high. You can add in grids here. You can start as low as 2. Obviously, you can't go lower than 2 grids. And as high as 500. You don't want to get so high that you're trading for fractions of a penny. So you can do that. It's going to show you the percentage that you'll make per trade after the fee is deducted. This shows you the profit after fee deduction. And then depending on the number of grids you set up, how low, how high, you can see the total investment. It will show you the minimum you need to run a bot, and it will show you the top, but the top there is no top. It's just going to show you whatever available funds you have. That's going to be the maximum you can set it. But you will see the minimum available there. There are some advanced settings down here. I have not been using them. They allow you to set a bot up and have it start at a certain price. If you want to set a bot up and say, hey, when the price drops 5%, do the math. I want it to start at this price. You can have it set up, hey, if the price hits a certain dollar amount, I want to close the bot out and take my profits, and then I'll start over. Or you can set a bot up and say, hey, if the bottom has fallen out of the world, I want it to sell it here, and that way I limit my losses. Again, I'm not using that on mine because I'm in my account multiple times a day, kind of monitoring it because I'm trying something a little different. So that is a grid bot. So I will show you that. Let me show you one more thing. This is going to be a little longer video. I apologize, probably about 30 minutes, but that's okay. We'll record some shorter ones later. So this is the bot that I currently have running. I've had several running testing. I've probably had as many as 40 or 50 that I've tested, just trying to learn how to use the bot before I put it in the back office, and changing things and just seeing what will happen, just so I know a little bit about how they operate so that I can answer questions once we get there. So what I'm trying to do with here, because this bot does allow you to release profits that you've earned. It does allow you to edit the range up or down, and it will allow you to add funds to it if you want to add. You don't have to close the bot. I've had this bot running, as you can see now, for 17 days, 18 hours, and 41 minutes. Lots of data. I mean, tons of data. I've made 108 transactions. A transaction is a buy and a sell. It's a closed loop. I bought it at this price, sold at this price. So I've had 108 sells in the past 24 hours. I've played around with the percentages. You can see that I've made 7,490 transactions since I started this. So lots of information there. This is just showing the profit chart. So you can see that, I'm slowly gaining a little bit of profits there. As you can see right now, I'm up 4.62%. So here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to trade in a smaller window. When the price goes up out of my window, I will chase it and I'll keep the $500 window there. When it drops below my range, I will change my lower limit down to it. I'm keeping my upper here because that limits, my losses as far as a realized gain. And I'm trading with 25 grids. So obviously when it's tighter, I'm making more trades, smaller profit. When my range gets wider, when the price drops, I'm making much fewer trades, bigger profit until it comes back up, and then I will close my range back down. So I'm changing my range as it's going outside of it here. And I can explain that if you want to know that in another video just on that. I'm not going to really go into that here. But my goal, like I said, I'm happy if I can make 50, if I can trade in an up and a down, sideways market, whatever the market decides to do, and I can earn a 50% or better profit, I am ecstatic. Can't earn that anywhere else in a bank, obviously. So that is my goal here. So you can see my grid profit is right now at $8,000. And again, it doesn't matter what your dollar amount is. If you've got the settings the same, it's going to be the percentage is going to be the same. So I'm up 11.59% grid profit, but I'm down in either realized or unrealized profit 6.97%. So the difference between that is 4.62%. And this is what I'm watching here is my annualized profit. So this right here, if I have the same results that I've had for the first almost 18 days, right now I'm tracking at 94.85% profit for the year. So my goal is if I can do what I'm doing here and keep this number above 50%, I'm very happy, especially trading in Bitcoin, which is probably the most stable. So if I can prove that this, strategy that I'm using here, we'll call it a strategy, will make me money in Bitcoin, I know that I can turn around and use that strategy to do just as well, maybe better in a crypto or an asset that is much more volatile. So some other things that this shows you, obviously you can stop the bot. I've already told you can add funds, you can edit the range, you can release profits. I'll show you that. So right now, let me run the profits here. Right now, I don't have any profits to release. You can see that I've already released $4,918.62 profit, and I turned right around and put it back in there. So when I started this bot, it was somewhere around $67,000. I've now got the bot up to $72,000. So my goal is to try to grow this to probably around 100,000, and then begin to pull my profits off of the exchange and not leave them on the exchange. So we'll see how that goes, and I can keep you posted. If you want to follow along, I can make a video on this every few weeks to kind of show you how I'm either proving this works or being shown that it doesn't work. So it's a little bit of an experiment I'm doing right now with this because of all of the variables that we're allowed to change here. So this is the overview, pretty self-explanatory. This shows you all of the orders right now. These are the buy orders. I've got 25 grids there. These are the sell orders. It's almost at the top of my range right now. So right now, if it drops to 23,558, I will buy. If it goes up to 23,600, which is top of my range, it will sell. If it goes up beyond that, then I will be moving my range up to it. These are the transactions. Shows you every transaction, the buy price, the sell price, the volume, the date that it purchased, the date that it sold, and how much profit you made. So I'm making, on this one I made $2.62. This one $3.51. It will show you that on every transaction. You can see that since I started this bot, I've had 7,490 transactions. And then the parameters here, this is really good. It shows you, your start price, how many grids, quantity per grid, the profit I'm making right now based on where I've got the grid set up. So lots of information here. So we're going to get this video closed. My goal was to keep this video to around 30 minutes or less. So right now, if you want to open an exchange, if you are in the United States, you can join from the link above this video in the Satoshi Multiplier. And then once you get your account created, and it's not as simple as just joining, you've got to verify your account. This is real life, real money stuff here. You'll have to do KYC. KYC for me, if I recall, because it's been a couple of months since I actually opened the account, I believe I used my passport. You use your license or passport. I think I had to upload like maybe a utility bill or something to prove my address. I might have had to take a picture of something. I don't recall. I just remember that from the time I registered until I had my account verified, I had funds in my account, it wasn't very long. It was no more than 30 or 45 minutes. So it was a pretty simple process, but you got to do some stuff before you can trade. And then you'll want to deposit. You can deposit in the US via bank. I did crypto. So, you can deposit via crypto. There's lots of different crypto. You can see my deposits here. I moved over some USDT. I moved over some TRX. I moved over some Doge. I moved over a lot of different funds that I had out there in different wallets that I kind of consolidated into here. If you want to withdraw, you can withdraw in crypto. And you can deposit via your bank. You can deposit via wire transfer, a debit card. Some of these do have some fees. Wire transfer, $0. When you do get ready to withdraw, and I have not done a withdrawal yet from the exchange, you can only withdraw via crypto. We can't withdraw USD yet. They may add that later on. So we'll see, but you can withdraw via crypto here into any wallet you want. You're going to want to set up your security on your account. I have mine set up multiple layers of security, so someone can't access my account unless they have my phone, my email, and my information. You want to set up the security that they have available for you. They do have an app for iPhone and Android, I use the app all the time. When I first joined, the functionality on the app was much, much greater. They actually redesigned the back office after I joined, and pretty much you can do everything from a PC now. Originally, I couldn't do a lot of things from the PC. I had to do them from the app. So when you register, if you're in the US, again, register from the link above. If you are not from the US, then go to pionex.com, not .us, and just join from there. If you're in the US, you can use the downline builder. Otherwise, you can just reference your referrals. If they want to join, they'll just go to pionex.com and we'll help them. This is not about referral commissions because obviously we can't, it's not global. Pionex operates in the US and globally as different entities, even though they are sort of the same company. Now, I assume the back office of .com is very similar. I asked that on support and was told the bots and the back office and on the functionality was very similar. They didn't say exact, they said similar. So we'll be able to verify that as some of you join from different countries outside of the US. You can verify that the information that you see in your back office is very similar to what I've shown you here in my back office. So with that, I'm going to close this video, get this loaded up into Satoshi Multiplier, and then we can make some much smaller training videos based on the questions that come in when some of you get your account set up, funded, and are ready to trade. With that, thank you, and I look forward to kind of going along this journey with you with Pionex and their grid bots. Take care.